Tzu Chi volunteers distribute relief aid in Haiti following the devastating earthquake. Many high school teachers in Turkey donated their salaries to help Taiwan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Joyce Ho. Thank you for joining us. Following the magnitude 7.2 earthquake in Haiti, Tzu Chi Emergency Response Team, together with Salesiennes Sisters, held the first relief distribution at Notre Dame School in Les Cayes on September 8th, where a total of 1,000 families received 25 kilograms of rice each.
We came to the Les Cayes to help vulnerable people. Since they are our brothers and sisters, we took the risk of taking the road to come and help people who are in need. We have to travel to another city after 5 o'clock in the afternoon because gang operations in the city are calm at night. I have been a volunteer and Tzu Chi donating member for 8 years.
My father introduced me to this event. In the past, I asked to be a volunteer, but my father said that I was too young. I was only 16 years old. This time, I asked him to let me participate again, and he invited me.
The residents are really happy to see the Tzu Chi Foundation come to help them, especially after experiencing this terrible disaster. It was a very hard time for them. Most of them have lost their property. The disaster relief has helped and relieved them a lot so that they can get out of this crisis. Today is a successful day. People are not out of order. Everything is going in an orderly manner. We were able to serve everyone. It was a great day. It's a way of showing them that we understand what they're going through, that we understand their suffering. Tzu Chi is distributing food with respect. You respect the people who come to receive the supplies and respect the dignity of everyone, which is very important to the affected residents. When people are in need, they receive respectful and dignified assistance, which let them know that they're valued. My house was completely destroyed. My leg was injured. Until now, I have been sleeping on the street, and the price of the food is very high after the disaster. I want to say thank you, Tzu Chi, and hope that more people can come to help Haitians and help the affected residents to set up again.
I was outdoors when the earthquake occurred, but some of my family members were affected. People need the food because there's a lack of food. I hope God gives the volunteers the strength so they can come back and help us. Thank you to the Foundation for bringing hope to us and giving our children a lesson. I really appreciate it to the Foundation. I also thank each member of the Foundation.
Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter distributed rice, whole grains and spices to 300 families in Tacloban. Due to the pandemic, some of these families are unemployed while others have economic difficulties. The 35 volunteers served in the distribution were all helped by Tzu Chi following Typhoon Haiyan in 2013. Whenever they are serving others nowadays, they remember how they were helped by Tzu Chi volunteers.
Tzu Chi volunteers are working together to decorate the distribution venue. Recalling the year after Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines in 2013, Leah got to know Tzu Chi, and since then, she began the path of volunteering.
Ako before, kasi bagan na-feel ko nga bagan dakon kulang pa akong life ba.
Before I got a chance to be a volunteer, I felt like something was missing, but I have found it in Tzu Chi. I learned to be compassionate and found enthusiasm to help others. So during the past 3 years of volunteering, from 2018 to 2021, I often thought about how to serve people in need.
Now, from 2018 up to 2021, so adilagap ako, continue nga nagsiserve.
Tzu Chi distributed 20 kilograms of rice, multigrains and spices in 2 places near the Tacloban coast to relieve the hardship of the residents impacted by the pandemic. 35 volunteers were there to serve 300 families collecting supplies. In Remil's heart, it was like solving a problem for a friend.
Pero bumulig gyapon ako Tzu Chi kay damot akon nakukuha na experience.
I joined Tzu Chi because I can have the opportunity to help others and make friends with them. I want to try my best to help others.
Nahin gusto ko na damot ako mabuligan gyap ng mga tao.
Wearing masks and face shields, as well as practicing social distancing, members of the public were guided to observe epidemic prevention measures. Volunteers also adhere posters to remind everyone to protect each other in their daily lives.
Due to the pandemic, many Cambodia families in the lower sectors of socioeconomic status are facing financial hardship. The Cambodia National Council for Children sought help from Tzu Chi to provide fresh vegetables and fruits to orphanages and monasteries under quarantine. In addition, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed livelihood and school supplies to 200 impoverished families in the Bangka-Mon province.
Because her master was diagnosed with COVID and sent to the hospital, the temple was closed for 14 days. For 6 consecutive weeks, volunteers brought fruits and vegetables. The person in charge of the orphanage is also quarantined, and no one can take care of the children. Volunteers brought fruits and vegetables so adults and children can live with peace of mind. Meanwhile, 230 children received their most wanted school bags and stationery.
I really want to go to school and study with my classmates.
Classes are about to resume, but not only do students lack school bags, they also have problems with eating 3 meals a day. The Cambodia National Council for Children sought help from Tzu Chi.
The government has closed the roads and we cannot go out to find work. The pandemic has really affected our lives.
Although we can't provide enough materials to make everyone 100% worry-free, we can lessen their financial burdens.
The 2 large packages of rice and living supplies will help them tide over the difficulties.
What you have received is the love of everyone in the government and the love of Tzu Chi volunteers around the world. We hope to give some encouragement to you.
As the pandemic slows down, everyone is waiting for the beginning of their new life. Love and care will always be there.
Refugees are facing even more challenges during COVID-19 as they cannot work and do not know where their next meal is coming from. Together with benevolent Singaporean donors, Malacca Tzu Chi Chapter braved the pandemic and distributed food and livelihood supplies, temporarily alleviating the refugee families' struggles.
Refugees were lining up to receive supplies. Tzu Chi Malacca volunteers cooperated with kind-hearted people from Singapore to distribute food and supplies to refugee families who cannot make ends meet. In total, more than 200 families were helped.
Until now, there are still a lot of people out of work. They still need these supplies, especially those families with children. We try our best to distribute these supplies. There are some refugees who did not come. We hope to distribute supplies to more people in need so more people can benefit.
For refugees, it has really been a long time since they haven't worked, so it's really hard for them to leave. Sometimes we see their messages asking for help. I don't know what to do to help them. Fortunately, there is a distribution to alleviate some of their difficulties.
Great love is fearless, and volunteers provide warmth to help light up dark corners of society.
A toe bed is a special assistive device that can help bedridden patients with rehabilitation and muscle exercises without having to get up. Recently, Tzu Chi assistive device platform has received several requests. Through resource integration, volunteers have found 2 toe beds from Maoli and delivered them to New Taipei City and Hsinchu for patients in need.
In the warehouse of the assistive device platform in Maoli, the volunteer is testing the functions of the hand-operated tilt bed, getting prepared to send it to Mr. Xiao in Sanchong District, New Taipei City.
We don't have many of such tilt beds. When we know there is one in another warehouse, we would relocate it to our warehouse through resource integration.
After getting the assistive device requested by the applicant, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately send it in person. This bed requires a larger space for operation, and the applicant learned carefully about its operation.
We have arranged for our son to do rehabilitation in the United Hospital before, and there is a tilt bed in the hospital for him to stand. But I don't think it helps much. We just thought that if we had this tilt bed at home, it may be more helpful for him. That's why we contacted Tzu Chi for help.
In addition to caring for the applicants, the second brother of Tzu Chi volunteer Pang Huimei is a patient with multiple disabilities. Her needs have also been noticed by the Dharma members.
He has suffered cerebral palsy and has multiple disabilities initially. He then has a stroke, so the doctor suggested us to have a tilt bed at home. So we apply it in Tzu Chi's assistive device platform. In very short time, they deliver it to us, so my brother's body will not keep shrinking like this.
Second-hand assistive devices convey love, helping patients and their family members to have a better quality of life.
As the pandemic continues, Turkey's Manaha school teachers donated their salaries upon learning that Taiwan is facing shortages of COVID vaccines. One teacher said no matter how much they have donated, they will not be able to repay the kindness Tzu Chi has shown to them for these past years.
Mentor Mevlana had said that by lighting up candles, I won't lose anything. People will become my light as people work as a team.
In Turkey, at Manaha School, the teachers have got rid of their former identity as Syrian refugees. They have not forgotten to be grateful.
I hope people in Taiwan can have adequate COVID vaccines. Like Allah has said in the Quran, helping a person to be reborn is like helping all the people.
The difference about this fundraising event is that we see everyone in Taiwan as our dear brothers and sisters. For 7 years, we've been looking for opportunities to repay their kindness.
The teachers' monthly salary is between 3,000 to 4,000 lira, or 9,700 to 13,000 NT dollars. Although they lead a harsh life in Turkey, they still donate their salaries for several days.
Someone asked me how much I donate. I replied that regardless of how much I donate, I cannot repay the kindness of global Tzu Chi volunteers who have been helping us for years.
Although the pandemic has made people's lives difficult, some people have taken actions to express their love, which shines in the dark.
Tzu Chi Foundation purchased 5 million doses of BNT Pfizer vaccines for the public in Taiwan. While the foundation is receiving support from many sectors of the society, DaAi Technology is donating its revenues to assist the vaccine procurement and will also be receiving donations on behalf of the foundation in their stores.
We appreciate the support of Dharma Master Zheng Yan and the kind gesture of Tzu Chi Foundation.
Tzu Chi Foundation has purchased BNT vaccines. DaAi Technology is also contributing by donating the proceeds of its stores. From September 6 to September 11, they started from the store at Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital.
今天请购的所有的会全部捐作疫苗的经费，要让更多人来。
We want more people to join us in doing the good deed. As they purchase items at DaAi Technology, they can receive fabric products of the same value.
Since we have the deepest reflections under the pandemic as the master purchased vaccines and DaAi Technology is supporting the cause we want to join.
Besides donating the store's proceeds, members of the public can also make donations at the stores.
This is very good. This activity is very meaningful.
Later on, DaAi Technology stores in other parts of Taiwan will also contribute to the procurement of the vaccines. This way, members of the public can do their share in preventing the spread of the pandemic.
Chen Shuru, a 60-year-old rehabilitation bus driver in Taichung City, was once a hairdresser. Being the mother of a physically and mentally challenged child, she understands the hardship of being a long-term caregiver. She devoted to the transport service not only to take passengers to their destinations, but also to encourage them to face adversity with their own experience.
Her service is very good.
We need to go. Buckle your seatbelt.
Turning the steering wheel proficiently, Chen Suru has been driving the rehab bus for 8 years. After completing the task, she seized the free time to go back home.
I want to make another trip and now I'm back.
Her husband has a stroke for 6 years, and she accompanied him all the way.
I'll tell him that's good, your steps are pretty stable.
Her challenge in life started earlier. One of her 3 children was physically and mentally impaired.
After he went to school, the teacher told me to send him to special education class, but not there. I was really sad at that time.
In the early days, there was no rehab bus available. Regardless of the weather, she often took her son for medical treatment by public transport. At that time, she was working in a hair salon and always burned candle at both ends.
There are the tools that have been used before.
She has worked in the hairdressing industry for 20 years. To make a living, she changed to work in the construction industry with her husband. She was responsible for transporting materials, which has trained up her driving skills. Later, she switched to work as a rehab bus driver. Because of her own experience, she can easily put herself in those with similar situation. So she has made friends with many passengers.
She always encourages me to take the first step bravely.
She's very nice. She will stand by her side to support her up the rehab bus slowly.
Don't be afraid, face it bravely. Chen Suru conveys the belief in overcoming adversity to the people around her.
I'm really happy to be able to give. I'm very happy every day.
In Taiwan, Huang Zhongping is the mother of a Down syndrome child. Originally a kindergarten teacher, she became a social worker to take care of her daughter and others alike. Having dedicated herself to care for the physically challenged children for 25 years, Huang Zhongping treats them as if they are family.
After taking a nap, students from Red Wing Workshop put away their bedding, wash their faces, and organize the living supplies before they start their happy time. 20 students are worry-free. They have a special nickname for the social worker, Huang Zhongping.
干妈？大王妈妈。
为什么这样叫？
她很照顾我们。
Huang Zhongping's daughter is really in the class.
你要说我是谁？妈。
32 years ago, when Ting Ting was born with Down syndrome, Huang Zhongping faced challenges in life.
I could not walk out. Fortunately, my brother has learned Buddhist teachings and he told me, as my daughter is extraordinary, I must do extraordinary things.
After changing her mindset to take care of her daughter, Huang changed from a kindergarten teacher to a social worker.
It was truly difficult, but to ensure they can have better life quality and enjoy better service, I went to study social worker major. So I'm using a mother's heart to take care of them.
She's now serving at Pingdong Intellect Disability Association, teaching physically challenged students to take care of themselves and make money by washing cars.
She is very tired as she has to go to different places, so I help massage her.
Huang's daughter's disability did not hinder her. Instead, it motivated Huang to continue learning and moving forward.
Kaohsiung's Fengling Junior High has trees covering more than 60% of the campus, which means tree leaves and branches coat the campus grounds whenever it gets windy or rains. To help maintain the cleanliness of the campus, a family of 4 has been helping with the cleanups for the past 5 years.
The Zheng brothers ride in this rain as they have come to dispose the bags of trash while their father helps to move it off the tricycle. As the rainwater adds to the heaviness of the bag, it rips easily. These are all fallen leaves and branches collected by the community volunteers.
The elderly work hard at it, and I wanted to help them. It has become a habit. When it's clean, it brings me a sense of accomplishment.
When I was feeling unwell, Huawei said he would help me. Doing this makes us happy. It can prevent dengue fever.
Huawei is a really good kid. He helps write up my visitation forms. This is too heavy on your own. Let me help. He's just learning alongside us. I think he has lots of love to share. With his lecturing now, when I get older, he probably won't ignore me.
Zheng Huawei is an incoming new student to the Fengling Junior High, but for the past 5 years, the 3 generations of Zhengs have regularly cleaned up the community.
I like to move the trash. I think it's fun. When leaves fall, it can plug up the pipes and cause flooding. He's been volunteering since he was in the 3rd grade. His family has dedicated time to this community.
Normally, when students volunteer, it's to prepare for entrance exams for higher learning, and they need the hours. However, Huawei has been volunteering since he was in elementary school, where it's not used for school. He's just doing this to show his love for the community.
To do their part for the community in rain or shine, the young and old volunteers aren't afraid of hard work as they welcome a brand new day.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital integrated medical and nurse aid services to provide extended medical assistance for bedridden patients after return to home from the hospital. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.